Hey fam, what's up? I wanted to discuss, or rather share, my input on singlehood as opposed to being married today. And also, I wanted to touch a bit on being a parent or not being a parent. It's just something fun to do, something interesting to do, because it's a serious topic. All right, I made a little list. A little list. All right, the pros of being single. You don't have worries about being heartbroken when you're single, right? Because ain't nobody there to hurt you. You don't have to worry about the disappointment of finding out that they're cheating on you, or maybe when I made a baby outside of the relationship, or maybe they're just a mean person and they hurt you and break your heart. You don't have that to worry about when you're single, right? Another one is nobody to answer to. When you are with someone, honey, you can't just come and go as you please. And all fairness and respect, you can't do that. You have to always tell your spouse where you are, where you're going, what you're going to be doing, and what time you're going to be back. That's called being a responsible husband or wife, right? So, number three, selfish. When you are by yourself, you have all the time in the world to do whatever you darn well please. Go wherever you want to go, right? You don't have to worry about making a plan for somebody else because it's just you and it's easy, easy breezy, right? All right, let's look at number four. You're free to do whatever, which I said, it still has to do with being selfish. You get to take care of yourself. So number four is you're free to do whatever. If somebody invites you out, you can go. You don't have to worry about, oh, I have to get this man to get dressed. I have to get him to put on a decent outfit, and vice versa for you fellas. You don't have to ask if you should go, right? Because you're free to go where you please, whenever you want. And you have that time to take care of your body. Listen, when you're single, make it count. For those of you who want to be with somebody, get the body together. Because overall, the majority of us want somebody that looks good, right? And also, we want to be healthy. We know what's up these days. All this cancer, high blood pressure, all these things. We know what's up. We want to be healthy. So while you're single, you have all the time in the world to go and get yourself a membership at a gym and get with it, right? Get that body tight and toned. Get ready for that man, or man, get ready for that girl. Shoot. Quiet time when you are single. When you are a person who enjoys being single, you like your quiet time. I'm looking real like a grandma right now, y'all, but I got to do it like this because I can't read without the glasses, but I can't see y'all with them on. So I'm like real grandma-ish. I am a grandma, by the way, right? What was I saying? Quiet time. When you're single, a lot of people that's loners, I would say a loner, they like their quiet time. So you might want to stay single if you like to be to yourself a lot, because when you're in a relationship, you're going to have to do a lot of giving and taking. You might have a partner that's more clingy than you are, and they might like being up underneath you all the time. So to have your space to yourself, you need to appreciate that when you're single. Appreciate it. I'm hitting the thing. You can work as much as you like, right? When it's just you could stack up your paper, especially if you are youthful, because you don't want to be doing too much when you get a certain age and wear yourself out, because that's not good for your health either. But you can work overtime or maybe find a part-time job, stack up your paper and prep and prepare for your future with whomever you're going to marry, and maybe you might want to have children. That's a good time to do that. A good time. Another one is when you listen. This is funny. When you go shopping, right, for food, you ain't got to worry about, oh, I need this amount, I need that amount, because he like this or she like that. It's just you. You're dining for one. It's convenient and easy. All right. You're always like the perfect house guest. People only have to prep their home for you and you alone. They don't have to worry about another person. It's just you. So it's like more easy breezy. It's easy to pop up on somebody because it's just you. It's easier to accommodate one person. On to the next. Now you are free to complete your education. If you did not, like you had a goal in mind. A lot of us have a goal in mind when we're in high school. We might think of something. Some of us don't. We take a little longer to figure out what it is we want. But at this point, while you are single, Think about that. Think about things you might not be able to do if you're in a relationship while you are single. Go for it. Do whatever you want. Go get that training that you was looking forward to getting. Go get that education that you was looking forward to getting. And maybe if you want to switch jobs, there's a time where you can maybe switch up and do things without having to consult with somebody else. You're free to do that. Take advantage of it. And another thing about single people, you get to have more time to pamper yourself. You don't have to worry about somebody knocking on the door. And a lot of times we go to the bathroom. The bathroom is a lot of our sanctuary. It's a sanctuary for most people. You just be sitting there reading a book while you doing your thing. You could be in a tub, taking a bubble bath, reading a book, or just relaxing, closing your eyes and meditating on the goodness of God. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things that you can do that if someone is living with you, they will interrupt that time. And it's kind of like, phew, because I don't care, even when you're in a relationship, you need time to yourself. You got to learn to love your own company, okay? All right, now we're going to look at the cons of being single, right? Those were the pros of being single. Now we're going to look at the cons. If you are the type that don't like being alone because you feel lonely and unloved, then you might not want to stay single for too long. But I want to talk about the serious side of that. For those of us who feel like we have to have somebody, you need to be very careful about that, seriously, because that can cause you to be desperate and end up with somebody that you don't need to be with. So be mindful of that. Don't ever feel so desperate that you just jump into any old thing and put yourself in jeopardy. It'd be better that you stay by yourself. Trust and believe that, right? That's one. You have nobody to snuggle up with. If you're like me, I love affection. I'm very touchy-feely. I like to rub the arm. I like to put my fingers through his fingers. I like to kiss, give little kisses on the side of the face. I enjoy all that stuff, right? And so if there's nobody there, there's nobody to do it with, right? What about vacation? There's nobody to go on vacation with, planning your vacation. It's nice to go with someone because you have a partner to go around the whatever you are, wherever you are. I was going to say around the town and the country. Wherever you go, you have somebody to share that experience with, and that's cool. And it's not good to travel alone. And I have friends that have traveled alone. That's another thing. When you're single and you want to go somewhere and none of your friends do, you left with taking a risk of going by yourself. And that's not to make you afraid to do your thing, because I think that we shouldn't allow anybody to stop us from enjoying our lives. If you want to visit a place, just make sure it's safe. Maybe you can do the group thing. I know my aunt has done that. She's done this thing where she I don't remember how she did it, but you can sign up for group events. This way you're not alone, because a lot of times, especially if you're young and beautiful, you got to be careful about traveling by yourself these days. So that's another thing that we look at, right? Bills, honey. It's nice to share the bills with somebody because stuff is expensive. We are living in a time where stuff costs so much. Man. And when you're with somebody, the food is going to be double expense, right? Because you buy it for two. But if two of you are bringing in an income, that just makes the load lighter. Ain't it nice to share that $2,000, $3,000 rent with somebody else? Nobody want to pay all of that by themselves. And split all the other bills, and then sometimes in life things may happen and one of you might lose a job. It's nice to fall back on one another if necessary. We ain't wishing no bad things to occur, but sometimes things occur in life. We know that. And it's nice to have that support system, right? So that's a con of being single. You don't have anybody to spoil when you by yourself. Sometimes you might be out and you see something and you be like, she would like this. If she like me, she love to see the people that look like her on the glass is pretty like this. And if you like me and you love the Lord, this is nice too. So, if your man is out and he sees something that reminds him of you and what you like, and he picks it up, spoil you a little bit. And it be simple things. It don't have to be nothing major. I'm easy to please. I'm not one of those females who demand expensive gifts from my man. I don't even demand gifts, period. But when he thinks to do something nice for me, That's the sweetest thing in the world to me. And it doesn't have to be anything that's crazy costly. It's just the fact that somebody think enough of you to say, let me pick this up because I think she would like this, and vice versa. I enjoy picking up things for him. I like to go buy him some clothes sometimes because I don't think his taste in clothes are so great. So sometimes I like to pick some things out, and there's nothing wrong with that. So when you're single, you don't have anybody to share that type of thing with, right? What about romantic dinners, little candlelit dinner, going out to dinner? We don't do much of that because it's not a lot of things that we eat from outside, especially my husband. He is really strict. But for those of you who live a normal life, who go out and eat and enjoy yourself, that could be fun, going out and having a romantic dinner. And even just walking down the street holding hands. We could leave the car and go to the store, the grocery store, Publix, whatever, Kroger. We're lacing our fingers together and walking to the store, or I'm holding onto his arm. His favorite thing to do, it probably looks strange, is to hold onto the back of my neck. He holding my neck like this. Hold my neck like that. And I don't mind. I just like for him to touch me. It might look strange to somebody on the outside. They might be like, is he abusing that woman? He got his hand around her neck like that. But he's not like choking me. He just likes to, for whatever reason, I guess the position of his arm for our heights is a comfort to him. So he does that. We like to touch. We're touchy-feely. So that's a benefit too of, being with somebody. Now, when you're single, right, you have nobody to share your hopes and dreams with. A lot of times you laying in the bed at night, and a lot of things go through our minds at night, especially as you get older. The older I get, the more my mind is just, I'm always thinking a lot. And it's just nice to bounce those thoughts off of somebody. But if they're not there, you can't do that. And it's not as fun to pick up the phone and maybe call a girlfriend, because what if your girlfriend is married? What if she has children and she don't have time to do all of that? So it's nice to have a partner to share stuff like that with. And what about your goals? Like together. I don't think it would be as nice to have a house if I'm alone. Like I've never really wanted a house. When my daughters were younger, I would have loved to raise them in one, right? But once they got older and I began to date and stuff like that again, and you're thinking about your life going forward, I didn't even think about it. And if I'm single, I certainly don't want a house by myself. It's kind of lonely and just empty. A big old house. You'd be like, hello, 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 hello. And it's echoing, bouncing off the walls because nobody is there. That's just me. That might not be you. You might like living in a big old space by yourself, but not me. I think I watched too many Lifetime movies. Yeah. But anyway, moving on to this one is really important because I remember when I was single, right? I am sweating. I remember a girlfriend of mine, I was enjoying being single, right? And she had a problem with it because she was like, you don't even seem like you even want to find anybody. Somebody wanted to meet me and I wasn't interested, and she got on my case about it. But what I want to get to the point where she said to me, you could be missing out on something great by holding back like that. And she was saying that another person enhances your life. And I just didn't look at it like that at the time. So that's what's on my list. A person to enhance your life. And what I mean by that is sometimes people see in you what you don't see in yourself. And who could be more closer to you than your spouse, right? Your spouse gets to see your talents and gifts. My husband think I'm a jack of all trades. He think I can do anything. He tell me I should do hair. He tell me I should cook. Now, those are not things that I love to do, so I wouldn't put enough effort into doing those things. He loves the way I sing. He thinks I have it going on. And that's nice because if you're going to be with somebody, you should think that way about them. And if it's something that somebody is holding back on and they get their spouse, sometimes their spouse will give you a certain push in the right direction. And that's what I mean by enhancing your life, because they see your skills and that you're sitting on them and you're not using them. And it's nice to have somebody to push you to do something like that. It's nice to have somebody to encourage you to fulfill your goals or pursue something that you never even thought about doing, right? So that's the con of not having somebody. You don't have anybody to do that with. Y'all are probably going to be like, what is she talking about? But y'all know I'm right. I'll put this book down because I don't even need it. When your back is itching and you can't reach it, tell me you don't need somebody to scratch your back. Come on now, y'all. Come on. Come on. When you in that shower and that water is dripping down your back and it's making you itch a little bit in a certain area and you cannot reach it, well, I got my little loofah thing. I love that thing. I be, well, honey, I'm a person that can't stand a back itch. With my back itch, I just be losing my mind. I hate it. Oh my God, my back is itching. I will be outside and go to a tree and rub my back on a tree. I sure have, and I sure will do it again. And at nighttime, my back is itching. I'll be like, boo, scratch my back. And him too, ooh, scratch my back. Listen, that is one of the greatest pleasures of having a spouse. And I probably sound crazy, but it's the truth. I just wanted to do something fun with you guys and something to inform you a little bit. Like, if you're single, this is what I want to talk to single people. I was single for 14 years, y'all. 14, right? You're like, what? And when I say I was single, I mean I was single. I was not having sex because I had promised the Most High God that I would not do that again unless I had a spouse. Did I know it was going to take 14 years? No. But the reason how I made it was because I was very busy. So every one of us are not the same. I had children. Now, if I didn't have my children and I was single and I didn't have anybody in my life, it might have been a little different. It might have been a little different for me. I probably would have felt more lonely because in my home, there's nobody there with me. My children kept me busy, honey, because I was a mama that was hands-on, right? So they kept me very busy. I had my two daughters. I had my full-time jobs, because I bounced from here to there when I felt like it. And I was in a group. I was in a gospel group. So I was quite busy. And I had a group of friends who we hung out when I wanted to go out to dinner, when I wanted to go to a play, when I wanted to go to a concert. I had my girlfriends. And I had single friends as well. One friend who was married, and her husband let her hang out with us because we were a good group of people. We would never have convinced her to do anything outrageous. We were mature and old enough to know better. But yeah, my friends were single, so we had that opportunity to just hang out and bond, have female fun time. So if you're single and you don't have that, because everybody doesn't have friends, right? And some of us, I was married before. I wanted to put that in there too. I was married to my children's father and it didn't work out. So then that led me to be a single mother. Yet another statistic, right? I hate to say that, but yeah, it's another, home being ran by the mom alone. And it wasn't easy. And so a lot of us would prefer to just get remarried or have a man in our lives just to have somebody to help take the responsibility of finances being so heavy on you and dealing with the kids. Me, I never wanted another man to take care of my children, nor did I want them in the house around my children, because I'm really picky and finicky about that. As far as men being around my little girls, you got to be careful. And even if they were little boys, you would still have to be careful. So I'm not encouraging people who are single to stay single forever, because, like I said, it was easier for me to do it because I had a full life. I literally had a full life. Now, if you're single and you don't have that, you don't have children, you don't have friends, because some people don't have friends, then I understand that it would be harder for you. I can't really speak to that, but I'm telling you, some of the things I have on that list, you would take advantage of that. If you're not in shape and you're not caring for your body, take the time to do that, because, honey, you could meet your husband at the gym. You could meet your man at the gym. You never know, you know? Some people don't have family members that they like to hang out with either. There are people in the world who are really to themselves and lonely. And my heart breaks when I think about that, because I'm blessed in that area. My family, I have a lot of nutty people in my family, like everybody, but I have a wonderful family as well. We're fun loving, we're silly, we like to laugh and act crazy when we get together. Clean fun. But yeah, we enjoy each other and I have good friends. And so that was not a problem for me. I never felt all by myself. Now, for those of you who feel like that, I would say find things to do. They have that sip and paint thing. You can go to what do they call those? What do they call those things when you meet and greet type things where you can meet people? Go to the gym, go to school. When you're at school, a lot of people are going back to get their education. You don't know who you might meet. Now, I'm not one to say go to clubs and stuff like that. I'm not recommending that anybody go to a den of sin, because that's what I call them, a den of sin. I like for people to do things the righteous way so you can find a decent spouse. You don't want to go to no seedy place where you're going to find shady characters who are just looking to have sex. Don't ever become that person. Don't ever get that desperate. But there are always things that you can do, suggestions that you can do while you're waiting for your mate. And don't forget, work on yourself. Whatever thing you see about yourself that you know that might be a problem for the spouse, start working on those things. Build yourself up to be wife material, child. And you could take a lot of time to do that. Work on it so that when you get in that relationship, you have a jump on things, if you know what I'm saying. Sometimes it's good to talk to couples and see what it is that they can give you advice on, as far as building a good relationship when you're in a marriage or preparing for a marriage. It's good to do that. So if you really want to be with somebody, I would suggest that you educate yourself on the marriage dynamics. And you can even talk to relationship experts on finding out what it is you need to do to be prepared for that thing. Because let me tell you something, when somebody's in your space, because it was a lot for me, I have to confess that. I was single so long that when I did have somebody, it's so funny. I got to share this with y'all. I even felt funny about having sex again because it had been so long. I felt like I was doing the wrong thing, and that was my husband. I'm weird like that. Some of y'all probably like, what? After 14 years, girl, you crazy. I'd have did this, I'd have done that. But that's not me. That's not my personality. I'm like, it felt weird. It was almost like being a teenager again, because it was something that I hadn't done in a long time. Anyway, I'm just saying, for me, it was a big change to now have to say, when I'm going here or I want to go here, I let him know. To always make sure you keep that other person in mind before you make plans. You have to ask now, because you're not by yourself anymore. You don't be in a relationship talking about, I'll do what I want because I'm grown. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. And if you want to be like that, you better stay by yourself. That's another benefit to being single. If you don't like answering to anybody, stay by yourself. Because when you're in a relationship, y'all are one. The two are become, whew. So now that's like he's your left leg and he's your right leg and you're the left leg, and y'all got to walk together. It ain't no just do what I want because I'm grown and not consider the other person's feelings when it comes to everything. Finances is a big thing in relationships too. I always thought when I was much younger that most marriages ended because people were having affairs. No, people forgive affairs, honey. Money issues? Money issues. And if you rolling in the dough, you might want to be very careful about getting with somebody. And this is my suggestion that I gave my daughters, and maybe you guys might think this is good too. It's not like I came up with it. I always told them whatever they earned before they met a man, that's yours. That is yours. And I feel the same way about the man, in all fairness, right? But I always felt it was good to come together, have a third bank account where you two put in together and build together in that regard. Because unfortunately, you don't get married to think about getting a divorce, but unfortunately, sometimes people have gambling problems. Sometimes they just are very risky when it comes to different people. Have all these schemes to earn money, and there are people that like to take risk, and they will put a lot of money out, and you don't want that to be yours. I'm praying and hoping that's not going to be your problem, but things occur. So it's good to have yours, his, and ours when it comes to that. I'm serious, because you don't want to work all those years and saving up good money for somebody to come in your life and just ruin that for you. That's your stability, All right, I'm done. I'm not a relationship expert. I'm just a almost 55-year-old lady who want to share her wisdom. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. And what I'm saying is not a one size fits all. Everybody is different, right? Everybody is different. So Do things according to, how you should do it. But I'd like to say this: no having sex. Don't do it. No, I'm not living in the 20s. It's scary out here, family. It is scary. Get to know people as much as you can for as long as possible. See their friends, see their family, see what you're dealing with, get their history, look them up, see if they've been to jail, see if they was a pedophile, a rapist. Look folk up. Don't jump in head first because you dying to be loved. Okay? And for my single people who were like me, I was afraid because I was like, I don't want to get hurt. I felt safe. I didn't worry about no disease. I didn't worry about some chick bust me upside my head because she wanted him back or whatever. I didn't have to worry about that. So for those of you who feel like I did, don't sell yourself short. Like my friend said, you can find yourself a wonderful person that can enhance your life. Don't just sit there and stay stuck like that because you're frightened. Fear doesn't come from the Lord. All right, I'm done, family. Peace, love, and blessings.